Hi everyone, this is a video that's going to take you through the work that we did on Friday, just in case you need a hand. Now you'll remember that we were multiplying out brackets like this and then going on to more complicated things. But one or two of you have said you're a little bit stuck with what we were doing. And so this video is just going to go back to the start and just take you through those steps that we did. Okay, step by step and gradually building it up. So here we go. So the first thing we need to do is to be able to know how to multiply different expressions. So simply, because I don't know what part you're not quite sure about, if we have something like this, y squared times y, that will be y cubed. Why is that? Well, because this is y times y, and now we're multiplying it by another y. So now we've got 3 y cubed. So in the same way, if you had y to the power of 7 times y to the power of 3, that would be 7 y's all multiplied together, multiplied by another 3. So altogether you would have 10 y's altogether, and that would be y to the power of 10. Make sure it's not, absolutely not, 10y. That's a common mistake. It's not 10y. 10y would be 10 y's added together. This is 10 y's multiplied together. So the quick rule is that whenever you see these letters, you add the powers. So 7 add 3 is 10. Now I can see the sunlight just come through my door or through my window, so we're just going to pause for a minute, and I'm just going to put the shutters down in my classroom or in my office. Right, shutters are down. We've got an annoying bit of light here. I'm sorry about that. Let's just see if we can move that down a bit and see if we can get rid of that. Yeah, lovely. Okay, and we'll move that as well. Look at this, this is brilliant. The wonders of technology, yeah? Right, so just one more time. When you're multiplying these together, you add the powers. 7 add 3 is 10. And if you had a mixture of letters, you do them separately. So suppose we had this. X cubed y squared multiplied by x to the power of 5 y to the power of 7. Then what I would do is just think of these as being like two separate questions. What about the x's? X's, 3 plus 5 is 8. X to the power of 8 multiplied by y to the power of, what will that be? 2 plus 7 is 9. So if you have two letters, just keep them separate. Never, 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 never add these together, because these are x's and these are y's. They don't mix, they don't go together. So that's just letters. What if we start to introduce now some numbers? What if I did this? 2y squared times 3y cubed. Well, just like we did with these letters here, you keep the letters and the numbers separately. So let's look at the numbers. Multiply those. 2 times 3 is 6. We don't add those numbers. They're just normal numbers and they're being multiplied. So 2 times 3 is 6. And y squared times y cubed, add the powers, y to the power of 5. Let's do another one. 3z to the power of 5 times 5y squared x. Okay. 3 times 5 is 15. Now, where are the x's? They're just there. There's only x's there. There's not any x's here, so it's just x. Y squared, z to the power of 5. So, if you've got different letters, just keep them separate. Let's do one more. 3x squared y cubed times 2 y cubed z squared times 5x to the power of 4 z cubed. Wow. Remember, just keep the numbers and the letters separately. We're going to do the numbers, we're going to do the x's, we're going to do the y's, we're going to do the z's, step by step. Let's do the numbers first of all. 3 times 2 is 6, times 5 is 30. What about the x's? X squared, there's no x's there, x to the power of 4. So 2 plus 4 is 6, x to the power of 6. Now the y's. Y cubed times y cubed, there's no y's here, so it's just y to the power of 3 plus 3, 6. Finally, z squared times z cubed, there's no z's here, 2 plus 3 is 5, z to the power of 5. So, hopefully you are now okay with that. Drop me an email if you're not. Now let's start to look at brackets. We started to look at brackets like this. 3 brackets x plus 7. So that just literally means x plus 7 plus x plus 7 plus x plus 7. We've got 3 lots of x plus 7. 1, 2, 3. So what have we got? 1, 2, 3 x's and 1, 2, 3 lots of 7, which is 21. What if we had this? 3 lots of 2x minus 7. What would that be? Well, it would be 3 brackets added together. 3 of them of 2x minus 7 and another lot of 2x minus 7 and another lot of 2x minus 7. What have we got? 2x, 4x, 6x. Take away 7, take away another 7 and take away another 7, so we're taking away 3 lots of 7, which is 21. Now, I don't really want to write that out each time. If this was 13, I wouldn't want to write out 13 of these brackets. So is there a quick way? Yes, look. 3 lots of 2x is 6x. 3 lots of minus 7 is minus 21. So when we do this, everything inside the bracket gets multiplied by the thing that's outside. So if we had this, 5 lots of 3x plus 8, it would be 5 lots of 3x, and that's 15x, add 5 lots of 8, which is 40. So everything inside the bracket gets multiplied by the thing that's outside. What if we had this? Instead of a number, what if we had x lots of 3x, add 8? Well, we're going to start to use some of the things we did here now. X times 3x is going to be 3, and x times x makes x squared. X times 8 gives me 8x. Alright? Now there's some questions on Corbett Maths on that sheet that I mentioned that will help you or give you a chance to practice. And also, if you click on the button at the bottom, it will give you answers. So you could try some of these questions just to check that you understand it. I recommend you do that. The last thing we were doing is we were looking at expanding and simplifying. So, for example, it would be something like this. 5 lots of 3x add 8, add 3 lots of 2x minus 7. So, what we're going to do is expand those brackets. Now, expanding just means doing what we've just done here. We get rid of the bracket by multiplying everything inside by the thing that's outside. So what we're going to do is we're going to expand each of these brackets, which basically means we're going to get rid of the brackets and keep them separate for a minute. and then we're going to have a bit of a tidy up. So let's do this one. We've done it up here already. It's equal to 15x plus 40. And then we're going to expand that bracket. And once again, we did it up here. So that's going to be plus 6x minus 21. And then we're going to have a bit of a tidy up. So in an exam, doing that right would get 1 mark. And now we're going to have a tidy up. We're going to do the simplify bit. And simplify just means put together things that can be put together. So a 15x and a 6x, they're both x's, they're being added together. So 15 plus 6 is 21x. Now we're adding 40, but we're taking away 21. So 40 take away 21 is 19. So we add 19. So these go together, and then these go together here. Okay. The last thing we were doing is things which are a little bit more tricky with some negative numbers. So before we go any further, let's just revise what we know about negative numbers. 5 times 4, well, we know what that is. It's 20. Minus 5 times 4 will be minus 20. Or 5 times minus 4 will also be minus 20. But minus 5 times minus 4 will be back to 20. So the rule is, if the two numbers have the same sign, so for example, minus 5, whoops, daisy, that made a right mess. Let's try that one more time. If it's minus 5 times minus 4, that's 20. And if it's 5 times 4, that will also be 20. But minus 5 times 4 is minus 20. And 5 times minus 4 is minus 20. Now, the rule is that if they are both negative or both positive, it's a positive answer. And if one is negative and one is positive, it's a negative answer. But the actual number will always be the same, 20. So, if for example, I asked you to do minus 3 times minus 6, what I would do is I'd say 3 times 6 is 18, and now let's decide if it's going to be plus 18 or minus 18. Well, the two signs are the same, so that means the answer will be positive. And we can write 18 or we can write plus 18. Usually we don't bother writing positive. If I had this, minus 7 times 2, forget about the sign for a minute and just do 7 times 2, 14. And now decide if it's going to be plus 14 or minus 14. So the answer, that is negative and that is positive. They're different signs, so the answer is negative, minus 14. So hopefully that little run through means you're now fairly confident multiplying negative and positive numbers. So let's do a question here where instead of this, we change it a little bit and we write this: 5 lots of 3x plus 8. But now instead of adding it, we're going to minus it. Minus 3 lots of 2x minus 7. Now, the way I like to do it, that works for me, is it now I'm going to multiply everything inside here, not by 3, but by minus 3. And I've just got to be careful with what I do here and getting the signs right. So this bit here, I haven't changed that. So 5 lots of 3x is 15x. And 5 lots of 8 is 40. Now, minus 3 times 2x is going to give me minus 6x. Before, it was positive 6x because it was plus 3. But now, it's minus 3, so it's minus 6x. Minus 3 times minus 7. makes positive or plus 21. 3 times 7 is 21. And 2 negatives make a positive. And now, just like before, we're going to simplify that. We're going to put together what can go together. 15x take away 6x is going to be 9x. 15 minus 6 is 9. 40 plus 21 is 61. Okay? So that is how we do questions like that. Lastly, let's just quickly look at some of the questions that I left you with to do. Suppose I look at, just let me check the questions. Right, let's look at this one here. Now, what I recommend you do, I'm going to just write this down again, 5y brackets 3y plus z minus 2y brackets 4y minus 3z. Now, if you understand what we've been doing so far, and things are a little bit better, and I hope they are, what I would recommend you do is you try some of the questions that look a bit more like this on that sheet and check that you're getting it right before we go on to this, because otherwise it might be too much new stuff. So feel free to pause the video and have a look at some of the questions on that Corbett math sheet before we do this. Okay? Only do this bit if you're confident with what we've been doing here and here. Okay? If you're confident with that, but that is a problem, no worries. You've made progress. Okay? You've done well. If you're happy with the negative numbers being sometimes negative, sometimes positive, and knowing when it's negative and positive, you've done well. If you can do questions like this, and that made sense to you when previously it didn't, you've done well. So, only go on to this question, or this part of the video, if the rest of it has made sense. Okay, so let's go over this. We're going to multiply everything in here by 5y, and we're going to multiply everything in here by minus 2y, and we're going to remember about the negatives, and we're going to remember about what happens here, adding the powers and all that kind of stuff, and we're going to take it slowly. So everything in here gets multiplied by 5y. 5y times 3y. 5 times 3, 15. Y times y, y squared. Now you might want to, what I recommend you might have a go at doing, is pausing the video and you trying doing this first of all. See how you get on. Okay. 5y times z. 5 times y times z. 5y z. Now, minus 2y times 4y. Okay. So minus 2 times 4 makes minus 8. Y times y makes y squared. Now, minus 2 times minus 3z. Minus 2 times minus 3 makes plus 6. Y times z is just y, z. And now we're going to put together the things that can go together. 15y squared minus 8y squared is 7y squared. Plus 5yz plus another 6yz, they can go together, and that makes plus 11yz. Okay? So, if that made sense, once you've done things like this, okay, have a go at those questions there. But, if you're not sure, but you can do questions like this, that's great. So the sheet that I asked you to do contains lots of practice at different levels. And what I'd recommend you do is look at the video once again, go to that sheet and answer different parts of the sheet starting from the start and making sure that you can answer each section. At the bottom of the sheet is a tick, and if you click on it, it gives you the answers, and that will give you some helpful feedback. So I hope this video was helpful to you if you weren't quite sure, but if you need a hand, email me, but let me know what part it is. Let me know what kind of question you're stuck on. Alright? Just in the same way you wouldn't go to the doctor and say, I don't feel well. You'd say, I've got a stomach upset, I've got a fever, and you'd try to give her some idea about what might be wrong. In the same way, don't say to me, I can't do it, I'm stuck. Say to me, I can't do this bit. This is a kind of question that I can't do. Alright, and I'll give you a hand. Okay, cheers guys, thank you, bye.